Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Mitrou Project, where we are sort of reconstructing this whole island of Mitrou as it was in the late Helladic. And today might be a slightly shorter video because I'm really going to be focusing only on one building, though if I'm having a lot of fun, we may do another building. Who knows? We're just going to kind of play it by ear. There is one thing I do want to address though. My last episode, I built these roads. And some people had suggested some other building materials for roads, specifically white concrete and concrete powder, or white concrete powder. So I replaced some sections. We've got white concrete here and white concrete powder here. Now without shaders, the white concrete powder looks an awful lot like gravel. Like real life gravel, not gravel in Minecraft. And the white concrete is kind of gray, sort of a gray color, which is kind of all right. But that's not really what we want to see it with. We want to see it with shaders, because shaders make everything look cooler. So these are my shaders that I use, by the way. Complementary Reimagine, Complementary Unbound, they're very similar, because everybody keeps asking. So how does it look with shaders? Well, again, the mushroom block looks pretty good. It's sort of a weathered white. The white concrete looks pretty good. It is a very, very solid, smooth white. And the concrete powder looks pretty decent, actually. It's got some speckles to it. One of the reasons why I did not use straight white concrete is because the roads, even though they were plastered, had some aggregate in it, it's just stuff in it. And because of that, the roads weren't stark white polished like what you get with, like with the smooth quartz, for one, which is why I didn't use the smooth quartz, but also with kind of like what you get with the white concrete, where it's smooth and it's all one color uniform. Now, the white concrete powder actually looks really good. And to be honest, I probably should have used this for the roads. However, there's two other things in this whole sort of place that's gonna use plaster as well. And I think I'm gonna use some of this concrete powder and maybe even the concrete itself for those things, which of course I'll get to later. But I mean, these would have been great for the roads, and I do agree I probably should have used those, but I think I'm just going to stick with the mushroom block for now. But yeah, these are really great suggestions, and I kind of wish I would have used them to begin with, but I really don't want to go and replace all the roads, and I think the roads are going to contrast the other things that have the plaster on them well enough to where I think it'll work out. If not, this is completely changeable and we can change it later on. So yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it as the mushroom block, though these are also excellent alternatives as well. Another thing I'm going to be, specifically for this episode, I'm going to be referencing an article that I'm going to put in the link, in the description. I'm going to put the link in the description, not the description in the link. That's just weird. And you can go click on it and read all about building D and the roads. And one thing you will notice from that article is that the roads are not 4 meters wide. They are in fact 3 meters wide. So I don't know how I missed that when I first read through it, but I missed it, and I put all of these roads at 4 meters wide. But something interesting sort of came about when I put these walls up on the inside. If you look, we got 1, 2, and about a quarter on each side. So actually the roads end up being about 2.5 wide at the thinnest, and 1, 2, 3, 3.5 wide at the widest. So on average, they're 3 meters wide. I didn't plan on doing that. It just worked out that way. So that's kind of cool. I like how that worked out. Happy accident and all. Anyways, let's get to building D, shall we? All right, so there you have it, building D. I'm actually kind of proud of it. Let's take a look at it. All right, so here is building D. Now its construction is exactly like this. It had a sort of a stone footer here. I used cobblestone instead of, regular stone, but they did use some pretty big stones. And then it had a mud brick above the stone footer, which was then plastered with white plaster. So I used the white powdered concrete, or white concrete powder, I guess is what it's listed as, for the walls. And then for the doorway, I did just regular old white concrete because I couldn't get the white concrete powder to stay up there. I suppose I could use string to do that and get it to stay up there, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. This entrance here is actually an earlier entrance that was eventually sealed up for the late Helladic, but because there's going to be a road coming through this way, I decided to leave this open, because if I didn't, all of this would have been completely inaccessible, and you'll see why once we go around to the other side. But let's go in here. So first, when you come in here, you've got this little sort of reception area, and then you've got this basin. Now, I put this wall here. I think I'm going to actually tear that down, but this sort of platform here, it's been hypothesized that maybe, this is where they wash bodies or whatever. But it's definitely something. It was definitely built above the ground, and sort of a nice little spot here. It has also been hypothesized that there was some sort of wooden, I don't know, framework that kind of kept you from walking back this way until it was sort of opened or whatever. I like that idea, so that's, we're gonna go with that. Early on, you could access the tomb chamber, which is over here, by walking along this way and kind of coming around. But eventually this doorway here was sealed off. And then the Dromos is what was used to access the tomb chamber. And I'll go show you here the Dromos in a second. The roof, I want to talk a little bit about the roof. So the roof, it was a flat roof. It was an earthen roof held up by wood beams. So I've got these oak beams here, and I've got the mud brick. Unfortunately, there isn't really anything that looks like earth in slab form. I kind of wish they did the packed mud in slab form. If they did that, we could actually have something like an earthen roof that you could still see wood beams. But, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. This is a pretty decent depiction, though I might take this portion out. We'll see. Let's go ahead and go around to the dromos, and I'll show you this. So the road comes up this way and continues that way, and then, of course, it'll curve around the corner here. But this little entranceway sort of stuck out into the road a little bit. This is a dromos. This is sort of the way to get into the tomb chamber. Now, this little porch did have 2 columns right here that sort of went up to the top, but you'll see if I add walls, you know, it just sort of seals it off, and that's the same way with fences. So I don't know how I'm going to do that, so I just left it out. If you have a trick or an idea for how to get it to do that within vanilla Minecraft, let me know. I'd be really interested. The other thing is there was a threshold here, but again, I mean, there's not much I could do. I suppose I could do like slabs for a threshold, and I guess that would work and make kind of coming back out kind of funky, but I don't know. The threshold wasn't very tall. It's pretty short. It was not 1/2 meter, which is what these slabs are. So I left it out. I suppose I could put like carpet there maybe to make the threshold, but I don't know. I don't know. If you got an idea, let me know. I'm all ears. But anyways, so you come along here, this road, and there's this entranceway, this very nice entranceway that goes into this tomb chamber. Now, the floor is recessed down. It was recessed down in antiquity as well, and plastered. And so I have this as a smooth quartz slab so that it actually drops down half a block. I think it came out pretty nice. The walls were made using a green sandstone, sort of like green sandstone slabs on it to make it sort of greenish. This is about as, you know, decent color of green that I could get in a wall that Minecraft has. I could have used copper blocks. It would have been an even nicer green to use, or like sort of the weathered copper, so it's sort of a green and brown, but they're just too thick. They're way too thick. This whole chamber becomes really claustrophobic at that point. So I just want to stick with the walls. Again, you know, when they start coming out with copper walls, that'll be real nice if they ever do. And yeah, and then we could do that. Again, roof is the mud brick and the wood beams. I do want to show you the roof on the outside. So the roof on the outside is I just basically covered it in carpet, you know, to sort of simulate having plaster. But I think it came out pretty well, even with these cool little buttons out here. This sort of artistic license. I still think it came out great. Let me know what you think. I think it's cool. But anyways, let's get to that road, shall we? There's building D done. D for done. Anyways, there's building D, and then the other road. I think I'm going to call this episode here and get it out for you this weekend. So anyways, I will see you next time.